People with street smarts. What is your most street tip?
If you feel like it's a setup, it probably is. If someone is trying to rush you, don't do it. Always have an escape plan. Never have a partner in crime, they will snitch.
I met this girl at the bar like 10 years ago and we hit it off chatting for an hour or so. It was getting late, so I told her I was taking off but would be interested in seeing her sometime. Instead of seeing her sometime, she decided to come home with me that night. We drove the whole half-mile to my apartment downtown and parked on the street. As I go to get out of the car, she doesn't want to get out and is literally stalling while texting someone. I wait for a minute or two and ask if she's texting her mum or friends that she's all right and where she's going. She says no and continues to text. I asked if she's coming up and she's like, yeah, in a few minutes. The whole situation seemed shady. She would not give me any information and kept asking me to wait, to sit with her in the car and wait. I told her she could come up or we could just go out some other night if she didn't feel comfortable coming up right now. And nothing. After a few minutes of this, something told me to just leave and I did. I went upstairs to my apartment, which happened to be overlooking where she parked. I kept my lights off when I went into the apartment and just stared out the window for about 15 minutes until another car pulled up. A guy got out, walked to her door, they chatted for a few seconds and then they both drove away. I'm glad I wasn't poo-faced and noticed that poo seemed off, because it probably was off.
Never count your cash in public, even if in singles. If you ever get pulled over at night, immediately turn on all your lights inside your car. In my experience, it tends to relieve whatever tension the officer may have, since they can see you a little bit more clearly. Plus, it's better than having a flashlight shined in your face. Never yell back at a group of guys verbally harassing you. Just keep walking. Don't make a face, don't change your walking pace, keep going as they're not there.
Facts. I was stupid and told a group of obnoxious men to go F themselves while I was walking in a public place. I was swarmed and surrounded faster than I thought possible. A few cops broke it up, but not until after I had a black eye and a busted lip. Just keep walking and say nothing.
Unfortunately, that's the response they are looking for. There's nothing any woman, or man in a similar situation, could say that would put them in their place enough that they leave you alone.
In crowded areas, carry bags, purses and packages in front of you rather than behind you.
And put your wallet and other important stuff in a zippered compartment deep inside. Pickpockets only got my makeup bag instead of my wallet when they pickpocketed my purse. The makeup bag served as a decoy.
Lock your doors as soon as you're in your car.
Had a friend who got into this habit. She hopped in her car one day and there was about a 0.5-second difference between the lock activating and a random guy yanking at the passenger side with a knife. Stay safe out there.
If something feels wrong, it's probably about to be really wrong. Listen to your gut.
Walk on the road if you're in a real shady neighborhood and it's late at night. Not in traffic but away from alleyway entrances.
I used to have a regular route through a seedy part of town and I always figured people walked in the middle of the road there because life was hard and they just didn't give a F. Never occurred to me that it could be a safety thing.
Don't raise your voice with strangers and always be the last to speak. You don't know if these guys are wired properly or not.
Security guards, doormen, food cart operators, and blue-collar workers in general are well versed about the location of the nearest restrooms.
I like that all these top comments are about how not to get murdered, and then there's just one about finding a toilet.
If an attractive woman asks for directions, look for her partner behind you or going into your car to take what they can grab. Typical vacation area scam.
Walking in Vegas one night. I had not one but two. My car won't start. Won't you come into this alley and help me fix it? Women tried to persuade me to help out. Like, nope. Kept walking.
Always get the money up front. People who want to pay later probably won't, and then things can get messy.
And count it there and then. If it's wrong, if they underpaid you, you don't want to go back later when they can deny it and accuse you of trying to rip them asterisk off. Count it, and if it's wrong, tell them they made a little mistake so they can save face.
Doors and corners. Always remember the doors and corners.
That's where they get you. Humans are too effing stupid to listen.
Look with your eyes, not your head.
Also walk with intent. Don't look meek or unsure. Even if you have no effing idea where you are going. Head up, body posture up like you got business someplace. You are less attractive target if it looks like you might fight back.
If you're in the hood and you see kids playing outside, you're probably safe. If there are a lot of people outside but no kids, be super cautious and walk with a purpose. If it's empty or only teenagers, young adults, get out ASAP.
If you're in the hood and the children scatter, that's your cue to scatter. They might not completely read the situation, but they know when the energy changes.
Confirm the license plate and make sure you are getting in your proper Uber, Lyft.
When my wife and I were in South Africa, we took a lot of Ubers. We always confirmed the plate number, and instead of getting in, I would ask, "Who are you here to get?" There have been too many cases of people getting into the wrong car and getting robbed, RPD, or murdered, sometimes all three. We never had any issues. Additional tip: I was told, if 2 people are in the vehicle, it's most definitely not your Uber. And if it's followed closely by a car with more than 2 people, also probably not your Uber.
I recently messed up and the driver had all the right excuses that made sense, and I got in and ended up running out as we rolled slowly Toba Light as he was beginning to pull out his member and jerk off. As a New Yorker, I'm disgusted with how I fell for all that. And in the blur of tears as I ran out. He wasn't even a cab. I caught 3 letters of his license plate and he wasn't even a taxi. In NY, the license plate begins and ends with a AT and a C. It was raining hard, I was freezing. I just got in. Well, I've taken Ubers since, and you best believe I check plates, pics and names.
If someone is blatantly violating social norms, such as blasting music on the subway or taking a phone call in a movie theater, keep in mind that if they are willing to violate one social norm, they are probably willing to violate others, including prohibitions on violence. You don't have to be meek in the face of obnoxious people, but you do have to factor in the increased likelihood of violence.
We'll piggyback off this to say that most people blatantly violating social norms are actively hoping that someone starts poo with them. They will almost certainly escalate things.
Exercise your legs. Although in a bad situation they'll probably feel like wet noodles, if needed you'll be able to run. It will also show in everyday life that you are capable of moving effortlessly. Most people are sluggish and it's not hard to notice.
Brew, I had to sprint from one side of an airport to another to make a connecting flight, and Jesus, I realized how poo my legs and mobility were, despite being in relatively, I thought, good shape. Exercise your legs. I also made the flight with minutes to spare despite having to slow down to a walk halfway through the sprint.
If someone approaching you says, "Hey man, I ain't gonna rob you," they're probably gonna try to rob you.
Similarly, if someone is asking you for help, but you need to follow them around the corner to help them, don't. Politely say you're late to a meeting and keep walking.
If something feels wrong, scary and makes you uncomfortable, GTFO ASAP. Sure, maybe something might not happen, but like Mr. Miyagi said, best way to avoid trouble is no be there.
Know where the exits are at all times.
I have watched video of the station nightclub fire too many times. Any place with a large crowd of people and limited exits, I memorize how to get the F out of the building as quickly as possible. Also try to get seats as close to that exit during the event.
Always put something between yourself and the ground, even if it's just a piece of cardboard. Especially on asphalt, it absorbs heat and it will feel like it's sucking the life out of you.
That's a very street tip.
Listen always and speak only when you need to. People don't know when to shut up.
Also give the least amount of details. Giving people your whole life story is not needed.
Never show your watch, wallet or phone in areas known for pickpockets. Also, don't touch your pockets if you see warning signs, because a good thief will be watching to see which pocket your valuables are in. And when approached by someone on the street, be mindful of who else is watching and what is behind you. Try and keep everything in front of you and don't be afraid to shout and swear at them to get attention. If someone puts a gun or knife in your face, don't be a hero.
To piggyback on safe environments. Every other minute give a quick glance around, occasionally look behind you real good. I grew up in a rough area and had friends get robbed and pistol whipped when I was younger, so I always do this technique. Other good ones for rough areas. Say, "What's up?" first. I was in Harlem on the train platform about 1 a.m. and a group was coming down messing with every person they came by. I gave away early, "What's up?" and head up nod. Not head down, and I just got back at sup, and stares as they rolled on by. I use this when passing bus stop etc. too. Looks like you're the one to avoid lol. Also for anywhere in the US, if you're somewhere and there are lots of women and children, you're probably in a safe environment. But if you find yourself on a street alone, or in the same environment as before and it's later and most of the women and children have left, it's time to leave. My street has a bike rally every year, and it's very family-oriented during the day, but at night it's not, and for over 20 years someone has gotten shot or stabbed at that event, always at night when it's 90% dudes. Edit _______. To respond to a few things in the comments. The quick glance around is definitely intended to be nonchalantly. Just learn a style that you can do that looks natural and like you're on a mission, but not tweaked out lol. To do a full spin around I might lift my phone like I'm checking Signal or something. If I don't like who's behind me, I'll pull my phone out like I'm looking something up or texting, and step off the sidewalk, turning towards the sidewalk so you can watch with you peripheral, and once they get a solid 30 seconds past me, I get back on my journey. Now if you want to cut over to a new street etc. you can sneakily. The "what's up" is mostly a guy advice I guess. Make it curt but friendly, if that makes sense. I'm told my thinking, listening face looks like I want to fight a little, so maybe that why it works a lot. I get that from when I was young and riding a long ride to school for 7 years, where it wasn't uncommon to hear, "What the F you looking at?" when you was just looking out of the window lol. But no you audience. Some people will start chatting. Or maybe you got chatted first. If I know a dude is a real one that looks like he'd shoot, I stick with short to the point responses. Maybe 10 years ago 3 younger guys were wilding out at a gas station that sees a lot of shootings. One of my friends not from the area went in to get some drinks. He didn't get them because 2 of the guys were inside causing a scene, and he couldn't get to the register. Another guy outside was screaming at cars etc. and he looks at my other friend, who was staring too much, also not from the area, and asked, "Yo, you soft?" My friend didn't know what to say, so I jumped in with a quick aggressive, "No," and brief, "F you stare," then back to messing with my radio while explaining to my friend to stop staring and don't talk lol. And the nod up, maybe it's primal like some comments have said. I always saw it as nod up was a street thing when you're hanging out or about to fight. Nod down has always been for an excusatory nod. Side note, that being said, if poo goes down protect your neck. I've known 2 young guys die real fast from neck stabs. Don't do it to anyone you don't intend to kill, but you can carry a pencil and protect yourself in a life or death situation by going for the neck. As for my advice for any females or people that don't feel confident doing the sup, and some females can pull the sup off, I use to gender it but you get what I mean. I would say don't say sup or nod. Walk with purpose, and if it seems sketchy or maybe you got lost down the wrong road or maybe you just have a rough walk home, pull out your phone. Have a good grip on it, get a pop socket or something. And be on it, not on Reddit, but call someone. Call yourself if you just need a quick pass by, and try to have a friend that you can call anytime and they know it's for a safe walk, so you don't have to make sense in what you talk about but be actively talking to someone, even if it's voicemail. But act like it's a normal convo, not a message. And if it's an everyday walk, find out what non-lethal you can carry. Pepper spray illegal in all the US. Buy more than one so you can try one and know how it feels to use. You don't have to spray yourself, just a wall or a ball, just so it's not your first spray when you need it. And I acknowledge that it sucks that you all have to take these extra defensive actions. And the last one applied to everyone. Even if you're at a friendly party, if it's all bros, someone getting hurt and someone is fighting. And I do keep a gun in my car. I know that's not for everyone, but something to consider with classes. But know your mental health, be honest with yourself. I have given my guns to a friend before when I was low. Don't be afraid to admit you shouldn't have it right now. I have a handicapped wife and someone could punch her in the gut and kill her. So I just have to have that option. And as some have said, Keep head on a swivel, but also look with your eyes and not your head. Sounds confusing, but just practice and it'll make sense. Normal people not in a bad situation look around a little, so you can move your head around, but it's not to stare at the person behind you. It should look natural while you catch glimpses and assess if you need to dip or whatnot. It's normal to look at something you pass by, a bonus or trash on the ground. That's an opportunity to look behind you as you pass the thing.
Trust your gut. If anyone seems a little too friendly, get away ASAP.
I'm a professional investigator, interviewer. The reason you feel uncomfortable in these situations is your lizard brain sensing the dissonance between the body language and the message. Always trust your gut.
If you are involved in confrontation, pay attention to the hands. 2 things. If they reach into their pocket and/or under their shirt, you are likely going to be hit with something, stabbed, or shot. If they are tucking their hands by their hamstring and/or clenching their fist while looking you up and down, you're about to get punched. Run or take the fight to them, because if either one of these things are happening, you're already the underdog.
And something like 90% of first punches in a fight are overhand rights.
Blend in, everywhere, even if you're faking it. And, if you're faking it, get out as soon as you inconspicuously can.
My wife never understands why I say this. Her natural inclination when traveling is to unfurl a huge paper map and erratically walk around a public square with it in front of her, looking very confused. I'm amazed she has any possessions. Then she looks at me like I'm crazy for discreetly leaning against the wall and using my phone to look at a map. I could easily be texting. No one will target us. When you stop your car, always make sure you have enough room in front of you for an escape route. It's impossible sometimes, but do the best you can.
And don't be afraid to run him over if they're trying to kill or kidnap you.
There is no shame in running away from a fight.
Those who run away, live to fight another day.
Always check the toilet paper roll before taking a dump.
If I finish the roll in a public stall and there isn't more TP available, I prop up the seat with the empty roll. Saves the next guy from shuffling to the next stall with his pants around his feet.
Doing the Lord's work. TYFYS.
Fighting is not like the movies. Many people want fight fair even. You never know what a person's got in their pockets, like a knife or any deadly weapon for that matter. Also seen people go back to their car and get a piece. Also on the other side of the coin, you shouldn't pull out a weapon unless you absolutely know you're gonna do some damage, cause that same weapon can be pulled on you quick. A red traffic light is just a traffic suggestion to some people. Always keep an eye out at intersections for idiots running a red light.
Mama always said, graveyard full of people who had the right of way.
Always look like you know where you're going, even when you don't.
Done this all my life. Now I'm not even sure if I'm on the right side of the globe anymore, but I'm still walking straight forward looking all confident. See ya. If you're in a bad neighborhood, for the love of God, stay in well-lit areas. The shortcut through the alley will cost you more than the time it saves.
But I wanna be Batman.
If a motorcycle with 2 people on it slows down near you, run, especially in South and Central America.
If you see something potentially illegal going on, don't look directly at them. Especially if you know that you're not going to be reporting it to the police.
Was once on the subway when I heard a loud metallic clatter. Looked over to see what it was. Some dude behind me had dropped his gun. Immediately went back to looking dead ahead and then got off on the next stop.
Silence is scarier than poo talk. Listen more, talk less, learn everything.
Well, if you're traveling, never randomly stop on the sidewalk to consult a map, or appear visibly lost. Duck into a coffee shop or something to orient yourself.
Ain't no coffee shops in the hood, my boy.
Don't act like a victim. Walk tall and keep your head up.
Beware of people who have nothing to lose, and people who have everything to lose.
Only break one law at a time.
It's always the stupid thing that gets you caught for the big thing.
I travel quite a lot, so some things I have realized. If you find a gas station, and all the windows are covered by ads, so much they can't see outside. Well, that is because they don't want to be a witness. If you stop seeing sidewalks, a lack of street light walking signs, or no more stop lights, that is not where you need to be. Always keep a change of clothes, and some water in your car. Never know when you need it.
Look both ways before you cross, bro.
Look both ways even if it's a one-way road. You didn't see poo.
This is so true. Local arcade, bowling alley. I walked in on these two huge dudes doing blow. Made eye contact with the one that looked up as I came into the bathroom. Got challenged. Said I didn't see anything, and went to wash my hands. As I leave they offer me some for being cool. I don't wanna F with coke, so I said I'm all good, dried my hands, left the room.
If it sounds too good to be true, it is. There is nothing free in this life. Nothing you want.
I had just moved to New York City. I was leaving work in Midtown, when a big tall dude with dreads stops me. Among other things, he tells me that he was drawn to my Gemini energy. How the hell did he know that? And said that he wanted me to have this, and handed me an opal ring and walked off. I have never been so confused in my entire life. I was sure it was some kind of scam, but he just gave it to me and left. I still have that ring, and I think we might be married now.
If someone starts to loudly state that they've lost their wallet or phone, don't obviously or immediately go to check on yours in your bag or pocket. It's a common pickpocket technique to get people to show the pickpockets where their stuff is.
Instead, search the wrong pocket and scream, "Me too."
Never commit a misdemeanor while committing a felony. Examples. 1. Don't jaywalk with an illegal gun on you. 2. If there is a body in your trunk or DG under your seat, make sure your inspection and insurance are up to date, all your lights are functioning properly, and your tint isn't illegal.
Good call. I'll be sure to check my taillights before the next time I need to move a dead body.
Don't wake a sleeping dog. It might be a raccoon.
I live in a third world country and most of the time this is what we're taught. When going to a shady neighborhood, dress down, as much as possible, don't bring a bag, or if you do, make sure the bag is something you can easily put in front of you. Do not put your money in just one item like your wallet, hide bills, fold or flatten them, in your phone case, your socks, hidden pants pocket, etc. This will serve as your emergency money in case you lose your wallet. Wear dark sunglasses when taking a public transpo so you'll be harder to read. If you are a tourist, ask the locals around for the exact price, for fare, for food, for item. Some street sellers tend to scam tourists and make them pay a ridiculous amount. I saw this happen, but the tourist didn't buy the item cause his friend, a local, stopped him. Edit. Some taxi drivers will deliberately take a longer route so they can get more from you. Download apps that would serve as your GPS. Some taxi drivers have DG they use to get you to inhale and knock you out. They do this by shaking some powder near the air conditioning of the car so you directly inhale it. It's a subtle scent, but it makes your throat dry. If you smell it, suddenly feel drowsy, ask to be dropped off immediately or open the window. They would usually pretend to open candy, or SMTH, and the powder is usually in the candy wrapper. Fire edit. It's not a powder. It's a spray scam. They just shake or rub the candy wrapper to mask the sound when they spray it. Bring your own water bottle when going to a club. To be safer, order shots. Shot glasses won't give them enough time to spike your drink, or beer so you can carry the bottle. Constantly drink water so you can flush out the alcohol in your system, giving you a good buzz but not SHT face drunk. Edit. OMG, I didn't know about the whole water and not flushing out of your system. Lel, forgive me for that. I've been corrector in the comments. Guess it just keeps you from getting dehydrated and gives you clean and safe drinking water. Fire edit. I think by now you guys know what country I'm talking about. These are just a few of the usual things you need to be careful with. I'm not, at all, trying to malign my country. Trust me, there are a lot of good things here, too. Come visit. Smiling face with hearts.
You can get into a lot of places by holding a pizza.
Act like you belong.
Never go to a second location. Street smarts.
If you are on public transportation, and people are exhibiting antisocial behavior, smoking, playing music on their speakers, etc., don't say anything. These people know what they are doing and are most likely looking for a fight. They also likely have very little to lose. Ignore it, and if it bothers you enough, get off or move at the next stop.
Yep, these people go out looking to start problems by acting like DKS. then retaliating when somebody has the gall to call them out on their poo. Seen it happen many times. Edit. Spelling.
When someone is staring at you looking for a fight, glance and keep them in your peripheral vision, but otherwise don't maintain a direct eye contact except for a brief moment. This exudes confidence yet acknowledge their threat. Do not keep staring long at them, challenge look, or actually avert eye contact, signing you as vulnerable prey. Stand tall and if carrying one bag, or even bags, put that bag in your weaker, non-dominant hand so when you're under sudden attack, you could react faster. Do not burden your dominant hand in groceries, purse, whatever in a high-risk area. It's better to carry 2 bags in your non-dominant hand than having each hand carrying a bag.
If you see the same car twice, get into a shop or store. If someone asks you for the time, keep your hand on your wallet and only slightly pull your pocket out to check the time. If you are in a shady neighborhood, remove anything that could be seen as a symbol for a rival gang, hats, jackets, stuff like that. It's unlucky but not worth the risk.
To add to this, if someone tells you that you can't wear a certain color in that area, don't argue with them. They're just trying to look out for you. The next person might not even give you a chance to argue with them, and they really don't care about what that color means to you.
Another tip: get to know your local homeless people. If you live in a city and regularly walk past the same homeless people, stop and say hi once in a while. Just have a brief chat and give them some change. Even a smile helps. Believe me, these guys know everything about what happens on that block. If you're ever in trouble, they'll help you out if you've been friendly, or they may just pretend they didn't see a thing. They can also help watch your car. For instance, if someone dings it and drives off, they might even get the plate for you. View the street as their home. When walking on the street, you're walking through their living room. They can be excellent hosts. This doesn't apply if you're traveling in a new city. Not worth befriending a homeless guy if you're only there like 2 days.
100%. Had a lovely man named Boomer that slept outside the 7-Eleven on my way home from work. I was a bartender back then and would come home late quite often. Once I had a creep following me, and since Boomer knew me and that I always walk home alone, he noticed and got in between us and started asking him for change etc. to give me a chance to get some good distance away. He possibly saved my life. Unfortunately, Boomer passed away a few months ago. He was really loved in the community. There's a memorial with followers and cards on his corner. If you're uncomfortable with your surroundings, leave. Your unconscious is often more aware of your surroundings than you'd think. If something you can't figure out is telling you to go, listen to it. Edit. Some people need grammar lessons. Link.
That's true. You have a gut feeling for a reason. Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day. So be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.